Hi friends, this is Melanie here with astrology at the eve of the full moon in Libra and Aries. Today is the 27th of March 2021, and what came up to me for me this morning was to do a little clip on Aries. And since Aries likes to take initiative, likes to get the ball rolling, at least do it once. Let's see whether this will roll out through the whole zodiac. But here we go. Let's get going. And this is all about Aries. Aries is here now. It's the season. Spring equinox has come and life comes alive. Nature comes alive and we come alive as humans in our nature bodies and spirit. Aries brings fire. It's the first fire sign of the year, of the astrological year. It in fact ignites and sets the tone for the astrological year. The spring equinox would be a beautiful time to also celebrate New Year, if you like to be aligned in that way. Aries is red, is bright red, just like my fiery scarf, my fiery silk scarf that I got out here. And it brings energy. It's ruled by Mars. Mars is the energy that is like chi, life force, and vitality, a vibration, and yeah, our drives, but of course can be also hijacked by the ego. So watch for that. Aries and Mars especially wants to get us get us where we need to go, and sometimes really fast and furious, and but it's speedy, so no delay, do it now. And sometimes that can, of course, energies can clash, which is also the ram horns bumping up against each other, or against obstacles, or just wanting things the way you want them, but life doesn't always cooperate. So here's also the balance with Libra, right? So we need to also negotiate and find balance, not just do things our way, very much a shadow of Aries. But Aries is always, if you need new stimulation, new inspiration, new, just something that kicks you off into a new direction, perhaps, or gets you going, I should say. Gets you going. That's Aries for sure. That's the medicine of Aries. So each sign has its medicine. Each astrological zodiac energy has its medicine, but of course also its perils and its challenges, and that's the journey. So if you have your sun in Aries, in other words, if you're born between spring equinox and pretty much April 20th, so it varies every year, then that doesn't mean necessarily you are very much an Aries type person. The sun sign is the energy that wants to come to our consciousness, and that we need to, over our lifetime, actually consciously develop consciousness around, and be energized by, and be spirited by. So carry the light of Aries would be the hero's journey of an Aries sun person. And maybe there would have been challenges in your life to really truly be yourself, and to take initiative, to get going and do what your spirit calls you, rather than perhaps, if you also have Libra in your chart, or otherwise the Aries sun is sort of compromised, then you might look at a lot at others, either at partners, at leaders, and all that. But Aries says, this is your life. You are number one. And it comes out of Pisces. Pisces is about, it's the last sign in the zodiac, water, the oceanic waters of the web of life, where all is one. and where oneness is actually the theme. And out of this oceanic oneness comes the one, which is Aries. Life starts again, and it all starts with number one. So this is the time to really show up for yourself as yourself authentically, stand up for yourself, and take initiative. Be authentic. Authenticity is the medicine, says also Chiron in Aries since February 2019 until 2026. So we have that with us for a while. And last year, 2020, was very much, besides the huge Capricorn theme there, I'm not going into now because it's all about Aries. So Chiron in Aries was actually pretty much initiated last year, 2020, with the new moon in Aries on March 24th. That came with Lilith, wild Lilith, and shamanic Chiron. So Chiron, the wounded healer and teacher. What's with Chiron in Aries? Yeah, so the wound of Aries, it always starts with where is something that actually requires healing. And I would say for Aries, what could require healing is either that we're not standing up for ourselves, we're not really truly ourselves, but actually so much whatever gets in the way. You know, it could be other people, it could be our need to please, our need to be, acknowledged and included and belonging to a tribe, or looking up to people who we take orders from and whom we can blame, who are responsible, not taking responsibility for our lives. And so we lack authenticity and we are not truly ourselves. So that could be part of the wound. The other piece could be that actually there's too much battle and warfare, which is also Aries. So when it comes to medicine, specifically to the established medicine, I don't call it the traditional medicine because that's a whole other theme, or it's a whole other way of medicine. Rather, the presently established medicine is, in my sense, and I'm sure I'm not alone, a medicine of warfare. So their war is being waged against the enemy. So this is all about battling what's battling the invader, battling the virus, battling cancer, battling what's not supposed to be here, battling the enemy, basically, right? So, and with that, it's a constant warfare. It's even a warfare going on inside of the bodies. And that, in my sense, has been also reflected, or another aspect of that has shown up as a very contentious, as a very conflict and polarization oriented situation around medicine and what the right approach is to this new medical situation, to this precedent, which is also Aries, that we've seen in 2020. And so I believe for lots of people, it has been also in their own unique ways a healing journey. Whether you actually went through illness in your body or you healed something in you through this process. And what comes up with Aries is especially also early wounds that happened early in life. Aries has to do with origins and with beginnings. So what happened when you were a baby? Were you really seen? Were you welcomed? Did you have to fight for life? And was there battle? Was there harmonious family life in your early childhood or not? Or did people struggle? Aries can be also in a low vibrations, can be also survival energy. So all of this could come up now with Chiron in Aries, and it's accentuated again with the full moon that's coming up tomorrow. With that comes with Venus and Chiron. So on the solar side, there's Venus. Let me just take a sip of water. On the side of the sun, there's Venus, there's Chiron and the sun, and on polarized and shed light on it. So all of this is being energized. The sun energizes Venus and Chiron, and it's polarized by the moon in Libra. So the Aries side shows us how to be, and it basically just gives us a kick to show up for ourselves, for life, for a fresh new beginning, for what's new here and what's in the present, what's now, rather than comparing it. That would be a Libra theme with the past, comparing ourselves with other people, which then, of course, is often the first step to either trying to please or being in conflict, being in competition, feeling not good enough, all these kinds of things, right? And or judging them, blah blah, all of that, right? So Aries says, "This is me. This is now." And there's also medicine in that. And Venus says, yeah, start with yourself, start with self love and showing up authentically and lovingly. And it doesn't have to be, you're in a war zone or something. It can be very assertive energy and very strong presence that's also very loving and that takes initiative. And yeah, so that's why I also said re-emergence in love. Emergence is Aries, right? It comes out of Pisces, life emerges, and re-emerging, showing up each day, every morning, every time something you start something new, showing up with love. And there's lots of medicine in that. And yeah, and finding balance, and maybe this is what's needed for balance. Plus, also, how does self love really balance out a certain situation? Maybe you've given too much energy or power away and been exhausted. So, here's a self love invitation. And a few more words about Aries. So, as I said before, if you are Aries Sun, that doesn't mean you already are very Aries like. Often I've seen actually where the moon sign or where the ascendant is in someone's chart actually is more natural, because the ascendant is more like your way of showing up, your way of maybe even being your original self and your spontaneous presence. And if somebody has Aries rising, it's more likely they are Aries, at least on the surface and first impression. And with the moon in Aries is also a strong need for the self to be to be actualized, and also for autonomy and for being truly oneself, not giving that away. And so for the sun, it's more a journey. So Aries itself, and especially the sun in Aries, is very much apropos the heroes or heroines' journey, versus Libra, where the moon is now, is the sacred marriage. So with this full moon in Libra Aries, it's also that polarity between marriage of oneself with where there is compatibility, where there's really a resonance, where there's a match, and also being authentic in oneself. And then the first house relates to Aries. First house in astrology is the points to the area of life. It's a segment in the chart that points to the area. I show it here with the ARIES New Moon, just as an example. The ARIES New Moon that's coming up on April 11th. look how much Aries there will be. Oh, on this side, okay, it's always reverse, right? So look how much Aries there will be. So I'm not talking about all of that here, but you see the Sun, the Moon, Venus, Chiron, and Mercury will be all in Aries. And here, first house is the segment in the chart. So wherever your chart starts with the ascendant, or any chart does, and this is the first house. So the first house points to the presence of the self. And that is also where Aries like. So if you have a lot in your first house, you might actually also have a bit of a Aries type presence. In other words, you definitely nobody misses you, and you have a strong need to actually show up as you. And when you have an impulse, go for it, but don't be too like rolling over people. That can happen too. And Mars is the planet of Aries, so Mars is natural in Aries, in other words. And presently Mars is in Gemini, so Mars gives vitality, energy, assertion, and is your warrior, your inner warrior energy. So this much for Aries for now, I guess. And for a few more things I was thinking of. Yeah, also with Spring Equinox, now we have the victory of light over darkness, because the daylight time and daylight hours are getting progressively longer, already longer, every day more than the nighttime. So from spring equinox to the fall equinox in the northern hemisphere is the, you could say, the rulership of the sun, and the two seasons of the moon are fall and winter, from the fall equinox to spring equinox. What else? So I have a few notes here. Yeah, spring spirit is with us, and I wish you a very dynamic and energized and vital spring with the Aries season. Take care and be truly you.